We on. What up, everybody? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It is What the Fuck Wednesday. How y'all doing, everybody, tonight? Um, got a lot of things going on in this country, and a lot of these people out here who are just too busy with their everyday mundane bullshit just thinks it's just business as usual. Um, when I am a firm believer that we are being attacked. If not from an outside source, it's from within. Um, and it's fucking shady. We've had more derailments. Um, we've had more attacks on our power grid. We've had none of our so-called government, so-called people who are supposed to be taking care of us or taking care of the situation doing a goddamn thing. For instance, um, while we got people fucking losing their animals, losing their property, their water, their air, all that quality of life pretty much in East Palestine, which isn't very far from where I'm sitting right now, has diminished. And what does old Sleepy Joe do? He takes his ass over to Ukraine. What does the Biden administration do? He hands all them fucking people money who are pretty much just fucking sucking on the American tit right now. I'm a firm believer that these people don't give a fuck about their own people. They're just on that tit. But just dumping more and more money into these overseas war when and denied East Palestine any kind of help. They said that Norfolk Southern has to take care of it. Oddly enough, EPA never even hit uh, East Palestine. Well, they kind of they kind of made it seem like the EPA was down there, that they did tests. No, no. The EPA took the word of Norfolk Southern and their few test samples that everything was fine. Everything was fine. There's articles, people, they left the fucking incendiary device that they blew up the fucking gas with in somebody's back goddamn yard. And what kind of help did these people get? Nothing. Now, President Trump went down there and he brought semis full of fucking water for these people. Trump water. Got to give him some kind of, I guess, advertising. Trump went down there. He's supposed to hate America, remember? He's supposed to not give a fuck about the people, remember? But he's down there. Booty Judge is snapping on fucking reporters, telling them he has personal time. He'll get down to East Palestine when it's feasible for him. You are the Secretary of Transportation, and you had the nerve to fucking blame this shit on Trump? Here in my hometown, Youngstown, 2,400 people are without power, 755 still without power. And the only thing that they said that caused this was a blown fuse. A blown fuse. A blown fuse, people, took out 2,400 people's power. So can you imagine what our power grid is like? We've been attacked since before December on our power grids. Nobody's looking at it. Nobody's looking at it. Physical attacks, not cyber attacks, physical attacks. Nothing. Nobody's saying anything now. Now, within the past 2.5, 3 weeks now, there's been over 12 train derailments. Nobody knew about the one that happened a couple weeks before the East Palestine one, just up the fuck, like 20 miles up the road. Oh, nobody heard about that shit. And oddly enough, most of these accidents, I would say a good 80 to 90% of these accidents, all hazardous material. Fuck, the one that went over in East Palestine was carrying World War II bioweapons. And right before the show today, coming out of Little Rock, Arkansas, 5 environmental specialists supposed to be headed here to check out one of the industrial explosions, because all of a sudden now we got all these industrial metal plants blowing up now. Coincidence? They were headed to go check out the explosion. Oh, plane magically blew up. But these are all coincidences. Well, I kind of looked up how frequent these accidents happen, and according to Google, it's very infrequent that these accidents. Now, they do happen throughout the year, but the frequency in this short period of time, we are under attack. I had a buddy of mine who will be on the show tonight. Even said, from an outsider's perspective, this is guerrilla warfare. So with that being said, we're going to bring up our guest tonight. We got Big Sniz and Mama Sniz from...
What's up, guys?
We got Dino the Genetic Marvel from every motherfucking thing from here to Canada.
I am very fat. That's fair.
No. You done lost your fat. He done left the fat. He done went down to Mexico and took that Charlie Sheen, whatever Charlie Sheen took, and came back.
Tiger blood, baby. That's how we do.
Charlie Sheen went down to Mexico with AIDS, drank a shitload of tap water, and came back cured.
Hey, there you go, guys. Go to East Palestine and drink some of the fucking water. Maybe you get rid of your AIDS.
That's not good advice at all.
There's a difference.
I feel like it needs influencers. Influencers in East Palestine would shed pounds. Yes.
I need to go to East Palestine. I need to drink some water.
Yeah, people are losing their teeth out there.
Oh, wait, no. We're 18 miles away from it.
I think that was always being lost because of the meth, but,
No, I'm good.
All right, so where's Greg at? We got our producer on the 2s and 3s popping in and out somewhere. There he goes.
I thought he forgot about us, man.
I told you.
He was going.
Marco's monologuing.
I enjoyed the watch. I was like, oh, wow. This is so interesting.
It's like 7 minutes. Calm down.
Shut up, Dino.
And did you see, on top of everything, I didn't put in the monologue, but they got 5 people cured of AIDS now.
Okay, so can they have like 5 people cured from COVID yet, or is that nope. Do we have to wait 40 years for that one too?
Cured AIDS.
Yeah.
Now we can't. Now we got
40.
COVID.
Magic Johnson ruined his career just for the science. Okay, let's just calm down.
Magic Johnson didn't ruin shit. Magic Johnson had the original cure.
No, dude.
In a vault somewhere.
Dude, hey, remember who else's career got cut short because of HIV?
Easy.
Tommy Gunn.
Machine Gun, yeah.
He was pretty. Yeah, that's very.
He was well on his way to probably, at least for a little while, enjoying some success at the top there, and just nope.
Listen, at least free hookers. Free hookers and drugs.
At least free hookers and drugs.
Yeah.
You ever watched any of Tommy Gunn's old fights?
Yeah.
When he won, he fucking won. He decimated motherfuckers.
I've watched some where he's gotten knocked out too.
When he lost, he fucking lost.
I watched a couple where he was on the receiving end of a knockout.
Oh, dude. It's just that, like the cliche white guy in the movie.
Yeah, but dude, that was all early on. If you really pay attention, man, like right he was really
dude, he had some
ready
to
to blow up, and then
blow something.
Yeah, he blew somebody blew him the wrong way.
Well, I don't think it works that way. I think it has to be roles reversed. But hey, what do I know?
Somebody might have had a bloody gum or something.
Ew.
Oh God!
Hey, nobody's looking for gingivitis at 3:00 in the morning.
If you have an abscess in your mouth,
the fuck I'm not. I'm getting a little inspection mirror out, checking the back molars and shit.
I always had a problem with that. Any port in a storm, I'm like, I'd rather sink sometimes, man.
Dude, Dino, Jesus Christ. That's my other.
Who the hell ever has an abscess in their mouth and is like, you know what I'm gonna do tonight? I'm gonna suck dick. That's what I want.
Horse.
Yeah, I mean, they don't.
Down.
$20.
It's great.
You don't take a night off for like.
What are you talking about?
You scrape off the scabs, it works great.
Those poor girls. Little sore mouth and just still do it. No.
$20. $20 is another rock.
Hey, fall out.
It's called career level commitment, people. Jesus.
Damn.
Going to hell
Or-
just for this episode.
Or poor life choices. Either or. Either or.
Does.
Well, you're way beyond poor life choices when you get to that point. This is just poor life. It
You
ain't
done
even
made
poor life
a
choices.
bunch of them by then, I would hope.
Right, that's not the first
Yeah,
one.
that's not one. Like, listen, this whole situation that East Palestine's in is not one thing that's happened, right? It's a series of events. Same thing with the hooker. It's a series of bad decisions that have resulted in,
And somebody getting burned.
well,
It's like those old Dare
possibly
commercials.
alive if we play our cards right. I feel like we need to set. It's like Godzilla versus King Kong. We have to let them fight. Send the insurance companies over the transportation, and then that's how we leave.
It's like those old Dare commercials. Nobody ever woke up in the morning and said, "I want to be a hooker."
No, yeah. I never said I want to be a junkie when I grow up.
There it is.
I
I never said I wanted to be a hooker when I grew up.
I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna I want to be a hoe.
I'm gonna be a hoe today.
I
I
just
know a lot
feel
of men that wake up that way.
I feel the need for cocks. I feel a need for several cocks, one right after another.
With my abscessed tooth.
that rock in
I feel like
between
that's
the
an
numbs.
emergency reservoir. Like it's an emergency
It's a
reservoir.
reservoir. It's a reservoir tip.
Hot mouth while you're blowing, you just pop that thing.
Oh,
Like, hey,
damn.
she just and pop and just I don't know. You never know.
Wow.
Talk about a sloppy knobber.
Makes your balls smell funny.
Ooh.
For a while.
I feel like I should start having.
For a while. Don't get any of your ass cracked. Be like
Right.
spilled milk in the minivan.
Sticks to the hair. Not good. Not good. Nobody shampoos the butthole, right? It's just
Just that's when it's that's the only time it's okay to bleach your asshole.
exactly.
Listen,
And condition.
listen.
And condition.
No, listen.
You don't want green asshole hair.
No, no, you gotta
And then you have to condition it properly because you never
You
know.
you keep. You
Okay,
never
do
know.
we have the ability to blur out my face when we do these? So that I
No.
can be on the show?
No, but I
still?
got a mask with a zipper on it. You can wear.
Gimp mask.
Told you we'll do it later.
This is gone. We started very wholesome. Like we started scarily enough, it was just Marco, and it was very wholesome. And then
Right?
we
We
all
all
just
just
went into the toilet.
ruined it.
What's not
Yeah.
wholesome about a little kink between husband and wife? How's that not
No,
wholesome?
no.
That's not for
we
the
were-
public. We're all old.
No.
Nobody wants
According to
all
who's
old.
according to whose puritanical morals?
Mine.
Number one, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that can say that right now. The rest of you are all perverts. Okay,
What?
Joyce,
Oh,
do
but
not
don't-
look like
don't
you're
tell
like,
me how
oh,
little Asian
me,
women hidden
queen
inside
of the
one of them
perverts over
poles.
there. Get out of here. And I'd be like, oh.
I'm offended.
This is
It's
just
my
wrong.
halo.
We gotta cancel Dino now.
Honestly, I kind of thought you were gonna go, oh, my tooth. It'd be very funny. It would be.
Oh, damn, I missed it. You're right. That would be the best thing
See,
ever.
this is why I'm the one that gets paid.
You're right. You're right. I miss my cues all the time, and I'm like, I should have said it.
Do you do apprenticeships or?
Ugh.
Not healthy ones, I'll tell you. I am Greek, so it doesn't lead
I am Greek.
it does lead to jokes, but not happiness. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
because we're totally healthy.
Yeah,
You're right.
sore ass.
Among other things, I'm very heavy sleeper, but it's
I think Dino's still dealing with the fact that he lost a person. So he's just this skinny person walking around in a sleeping bag.
so. I have an idea for that. What I was going to do is go down to the butcher shop, see if I can get 120 pounds of fat and gristle, to take a picture of it and put it on a wanted poster. I just feel like that would go a long way. No,
That's
I'm
a
looking-
huge.
it's
that would be good.
I'm longing for my lost self. You know, things don't fit it. Look,
See,
my wife bought this. It doesn't fit.
Wait, I have a question.
cashmere. I have to
I have
wear
a
it.
question.
Yeah.
You know, as a also a fat person, I am curious though. It's like, what are your plans for the skin?
That's what I just
After
said.
that.
Walking around in a sleeping
I'm
bag.
not talking to you. I know he's what he's walking around in.
I identify as an easily mistakable person as livestock. That's how I like to be described, okay? Because I can easily be mistaken for livestock very quickly. But with regards to the skin, is exercise and time. Like the one good part I had was I had a lot of stretch marks. So now everything's just kind of going in and having very small lines. I'm like, I once again, I have come out victorious. I'm not sure how. I may have killed some chickens to do it.
So it all just kind of back.
Well, to a degree.
Who's going chicken hunting?
My
We're
legs,
going chicken hunting.
my legs are
Sorry,
starting to look
what was this?
gross. But I don't really give a shit. I'm married to a big-titted Asian. It doesn't make a difference to me. I can do whatever I want. You know?
Does she want
No, I'll
to
show
show?
you. I can show you guys like
Oh my
if
god!
I show, like,
what are you
yeah,
showing
like,
us?
full on.
No, he's not showing us his dick.
So if you see like my legs, like veins.
Do you shave?
No, I just don't have
Oh,
much hair on my
okay.
legs. That's all. So
Oh,
if you
yeah,
see
well,
like
that
on this side,
Smooth.
veins. And
He's
stuff,
an old
like,
guy.
He hasn't, you can tell he lives in Canada. He doesn't see much sun either.
Yeah, it looks like
No,
raw
right
chicken.
now I'm only tanned on the hands and the face, bro. The rest is all stark white.
I love how you think your hands and face are tan. That's cute.
Okay, I can afford white lights. That's why it doesn't.
Oh, okay, got it. You can't.
Don't start with me. Okay? I'll cut you. No.
Come for
Yeah.
me.
So I am a little bit worried because all of my wrinkles were filled with fat. So that's another concern. But
Well, delay. My mom.
Yeah,
says
you're
that.
gonna look like a Sharpay in a few months.
I mean,
listen, a Sharpay with a fucking Magnum dong. I don't really care. It doesn't really.
Right? He doesn't.
You know?
He's focused on one thing and one thing only.
they're cute though. I mean, like scratch by the ear thing.
Every inch I lose of belly is an inch of dick I gain.
Sometimes two. Just like
I'm just saying.
it's
Just
kind of
get a little
becoming
extra flexibility.
You're like, damn, what's up?
Yeah, and then you can get that little extra. Won't.
Listen, to my credit, he still remembers the handshake now that I can see him. I'm like, what's up, bro? Boom, 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 boom. And it was good. So
Right? It's
yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, I got you.
No,
followed.
No, it's way afterward for that. But yeah. It's,
I just can't.
So about this
imagine
mask we were talking about earlier.
hanging down on the side like they're extra balls.
yeah, no, that's luckily my balls were high and tight. Surprising, I know, for my size, but that is a concern.
They were
As the loose
scared.
skin-
They were just
Now you got more dick but less balls.
No, they've stayed the same, which, like I said, I'm surprised at. But dick, yeah, it's definitely it's kind of like
I have heard that though. That as you lose weight, your dick, it's
Yeah.
not bigger. It's just you're able to see it now.
I don't know, it's just very evident, right? See, that's so. I had this thing where I was at one comedy place and a
It's
guy
because
was
he
trying to
called you a
roast me,
pervert.
and he said you deserved it. But the whole thing was that he tried to roast me by saying, "Well, at least I can see my dick," and I'm like, "I can still see my dick when it's hard." And a woman who was just observing the roast was like, "Oh my God, your dick must be massive." And I was like, "Oh, I'm a lot fatter than I realized." Oh. She's like, "So yeah, I can see my dick when it's hard, and now it's like it's all the time." And I'm like, "Hey, what's happening, bro?" Like, I'm also smaller than I was in high school at this point, so it's kind of weird, but whatever.
What, your dick is smaller than you were in high school? Or your
No,
belly?
my weight. I was
Follow
334,
along,
and now I'm
Nicole.
330. So
Did you play sports at all?
no, I
Did
wrestled.
you
I
just hear
wrestled,
him?
but no. I went. We didn't have a football team, so we linked up with another high school. And when I went there, I realized I had beaten up half of their lineup, and they were like, "You're gonna come here?" And they were like, "Oh, you're a week late." I'm like, "Well, fuck you, bend the rules or lose." And they lost.
Could have like shot put.
I did that. I throw like a girl. I punch like a man, throw like a girl. Who knew?
I don't know. My daughter throws like a beast, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I need to put in the time. Yeah,
Not my daughter.
Oh,
I never
No.
threw for sport, so it's not something.
Yeah.
Punching, yeah, I grew up with three brothers. I literally spend my time beating the little shit out of myself.
You
and then
had to. You
Well,
had to survive.
our favorite pastimes is stop hitting yourself, which, I kicked my own ass
Stop
many times.
hitting yourself.
Yeah. So,
He learned how to fight through stop hitting yourself.
well, to bob and weave, and you figure it out pretty quick. With those
I didn't. I missed.
Yeah, well, the bruises, you have see when it's your siblings, you also get the shit kicked out of you, and then you have to lie about the bruises. Otherwise,
Oh,
everyone's like,
absolutely.
"Fucking snitch." Right?
You're
You
all in
can't-
trouble.
I sleep in the same house with them for quite some time. I can't be known as a snitch. That's dangerous. I did break furniture of theirs though. That was on purpose. And I'm like, whoa, lie about that. Like,
See, I used to get beat on by my older brothers, but I'd wait till they were asleep and I'd attack. Like I'll never forget, my grandma bought me like these die cast Muppet cars. And I mean, like they were the old school good
Oh
ones.
no, I'm
Jesus.
scared already.
And you know, my favorite, I
Full
kept
Metal
my
Jacket,
favorite
your
one.
siblings?
So I kept like the Miss Piggy. It was like looked like an old Auburn car. Remember the Auburns with the pipes on the side and the tire in the back? Big heavy die cast Miss Piggy driving it. And I stuck that fucker in the sock. Because a couple days beforehand, I watched a Charles Bronson movie with my dad.
Oh
You know, we
no.
stuck all
I
the
go
quarters inside the sock and just
Ooh.
crawling around. I waited until my brother Joey was laying nice asleep, you know, just in the sun. Bah, you ignorant motherfucker.
Oh.
He stood up and went right back down. And then,
Yeah.
I ran like a little bitch. Ma, Joey coming after me.
My boys are completely like they will quip at each other back and forth a little bit and for a little bit of time. And then one day someone says something, the other one snaps, and it is, remember that fucking Hell in a Cell
Yeah.
with Mick Foley
Yeah.
and the Undertaker?
So the sock came out for the last time, baby.
Yeah. Okay. That is what my living room looks like when one of them just goes, and you see it. It looks like a cartoon with the fucking explosion above their head. Their eyes get real big, and then it's just.
That's where we get a text message that goes, Matthew fell and the coffee table was broken.
Yeah. Somebody shot the window out with a BB. It was a drive-by BB shooting. It's broken from the inside. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm not a physics professor. I don't know.
Look, I didn't grow up that way.
Actually,
my sister was 8 years older than me and was never allowed to touch me. Ever.
I think that's a mandate by law.
There was nobody allowed to touch anybody.
No, like I was like the golden child. I really was.
My sister was 3 years younger than me and put my ass in the hospital for 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
She hit me. She swung a jacket at me, and I didn't see it coming. And the button, it was a snap button jacket. The button actually hit my eyeball.
Does she play sports now? Maybe an archer.
Darts.
No.
Darts. Yeah, definitely.
She
darts.
does. She
doesn't do anything now.
No,
Like
she's an
bocce?
athlete.
She'd like have a little
Oh no,
spin
you're
on
right.
that?
She's a hooker. She's got that tooth problem.
Same thing.
Athlete, hooker,
I was
Target
trying.
practice,
Professional
target
was
practice.
coming to mind. I couldn't get it out.
raging
Sorry.
alcoholic.
So
But she's
good,
good at-
wholesome, rounded person.
She's good.
Totally
She's
good at
really
it.
good at it. She committed.
Professional.
It's a little round. All right, so getting back to where we originally started this
Yeah,
thing from.
That's a good idea.
Coming from another country, Dino, what is all? Do all these seem like coincidences? Do all these seem like this shit
I'm teasing.
is normal, or from an outside country's perspective, what does this shit look like to you?
Well, as I've told you many times, Marco, it's not just that I'm Canadian and have healthcare. I'm also Greek, so I look down on the majority of the universe.
What?
So
Always the healthcare.
it's literally
being
an
Greek,
immediate
like-
bam, I'm better. Like it's great.
I'm Greek. I look down on the rest
being
of
white in
humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like we gave you goodness and then you ruined it with bureaucracy. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh yeah, you guys did real great with your economy.
Wait. Every
Hey,
Canadian
I'm
I've
not
ever talked to
saying-
talks about the 6-month waiting list to go see a doctor.
No such thing.
But at least it's free. Okay, you're right. Go
But
ahead.
there's no. So listen. If you live in buttfuck nowhere, yes,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to wait 6 months. Why? Because you have to drive and yeah.
Saskatchewan.
It takes
I
a
live in
long time to get to no bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, but he lives in.
So I live in a
Gotcha.
real city with, let's put it this way, within 100 kilometers or 60 miles.
Thank
I have at least 15 world-class hospitals that are also like university hospitals, educating, like it's a whole thing, right? So for me, that's not an issue.
System.
Outside of here, like, yes, if you live in rural Canada, listen, rural Canada isn't like, oh, I'm going to go to the next state. No, it's like 8 hours and you're still in the same place. It's not.
Right. It's not like
Yeah.
rural America.
You're still in the
No,
same
no.
place.
It's
There's
It's
your
not like
neighbor.
rural America.
It's the similar, like
It's
people say
mountain
how,
man shit.
like,
Gotcha.
yeah, it's like Los Angeles is an hour away from Los Angeles if you're driving through it because of traffic. Up north, it's 10 hours from nothing. You're like, it's still 10 hours. So once you do 10 hours, do another 10. You might see something. Probably not. It might be a mirage. So it's a mountain, you know? So, like, that being said, I learned a long time ago, if you kick the wall and one roach comes out, the advice is to keep on kicking because roaches don't travel alone. There's going to be more. And at this point, the amount of news happening, coincidences,
Lots of
and
roaches.
like, look, it's where you're saying, going, hey, man, I don't want to stand here and say, no, that there's no way it could be some sort of grander plot. Maybe it's not, but it's definitely a result of active decisions to minimize maintenance, decrease rules, make profit the most important thing. Like, think about it this way. The cost alone of moving hazardous chemicals through versus around a town, city, village, whatever you want to call it, that in and of itself is an accounting way of saying, well, the off chance that something happens, the amount
worth
of money
it.
we're going to make, we can pay
Right.
for it. It's fine. And
Yeah.
now they're saying we're not even willing to pay for it. And
Right.
that,
We have a friend that his father in the 80s was an environmental scientist for power plants in the West Virginia area.
Okay.
His entire job, Josh Creekmore.
Oh,
don't name him. Don't do that.
he's not watching.
His entire I forgot. His
Nobody's
entire
watching.
his entire job was basically to tell them, hey, this is what we need to do to stay current with current regulations. This is emitting too much. We need to do this. We need to do that.
And he got fired.
And no. He would continue to give give his reports, and it was continually cheaper for them to pay the fines
Oh yeah.
than to fix it. Well, he got so tired of that and so burnt out from that he used their tuition program to become a dentist and then just left the industry. But that's why he left, because it didn't matter. He was there because it was required for them to have somebody in his position doing what he was doing, but they didn't take any of his advice.
Now, how does that make sense? By law, you have to have an environmental person there, but there is no law that they have no power. It's like you're like,
Right.
oh, you have
that's
a
why I
toothless
say
barracuda. Who cares?
that's why I have always said, like, the open market would regulate this better than government, because just like this example, the government said you have to have this environmentalist. So we have this environmental person, but we don't listen to him because it's cheaper to pay the fine. Well, in a system where you're not held accountable by laws and fines, you're held accountable by, oh, you have caused this much damage. Guess what?
Here's the
You
minimum.
have to pay. You have to pay for the reclamation. You're fully responsible because you're fully responsible for the pollutant. You're fully responsible for the whatever. That's how you hold these companies accountable, not by slapping them on the wrist and giving them some fucking EPA fine.
Okay, so check this out. I have a buddy of mine who's real knowledgeable about the railroads and shit, and he sent me this to inquire about.
He's a hobo.
Says, not real sure about
Is it one of the
politics
Boxcar
on
kids?
this matter. There have
It's
been
about to get
contract
serious. Marjorie just put on her glasses.
in place for decades.
Only half of them.
Using infrared for temperature readings and combined with mechanical means to detect any dragging equipment. These trackside detectors are interlinked with the signal system. Also, a digital message is broadcast on the railroad's radio frequency. Should a problem be detected with the signals, the signals will immediately display red, and the detector will have counted the axles in the train, then broadcast an emergency stop order while indicating where in the train the defect is located. Primary objective is to note an overheating bearing before it has a complete meltdown failure. I do not comprehend how a bearing in the process of failing can travel enough distance without detection. I'd like to know Norfolk Southern's comments regarding such.
There's a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Hey, that's you know what the worst part about that statement was? That it's blatantly obvious to anyone who's actually involved, yet would that be on the news? Of course not.
Oh,
Why?
no.
Because how fucking dare
Took
you?
away the regulations that put safe brakes on there. That's Buttigieg's excuse.
I read it today. One of the things I forward you guys. So people who are watching, you guys know we all talk amongst ourselves because we're all psychopaths all day long. It's ridiculous. How we get everything done.
Sometimes I have to mute it sometimes
Oh,
just
I
to
was
get
gonna
shit
All the
done.
time, almost on a daily basis.
I mute you. I mute you a lot. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, that's fair. But
Daily basis.
absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm sure it's over now. No, I gotta put
No, it's still
no.
fun.
You go back and you've missed
128 comments.
You've missed, yeah.
How do I have that many?
And shout out to Railroad Dave for that whole
Hell
comment.
yeah.
You Railroad
Absolutely.
Dave.
The fact
Who's
that
that about?
there's video of one of the what the fuck is it called? The train. No, the train car was on fire 20 minutes before it got to the city.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, now has anyone look? There's video going around about that.
Oh, they're
Has anyone
trying to
acknowledged
debunk it and say a lot of that shit is fake and it's from some other train thing that happened years ago or some shit.
The picture from above the cloud, that's been deemed fake. The picture that Jared, the guest from the other day,
Yeah.
her picture's been deemed fake.
Really?
I believe it was already taken down and put back up. But you're going, so listen, now we're entering the whole no way.
And we all
It's
know
impossible
that
that could happen and nothing happened about it. You're like, yeah, no. The entirety of rural or not New York or LA or Texas, America is getting fucked on a regular basis. And so the idea that people are going, no, that couldn't happen and there'd be no punishment. You're like, oh yeah, the punishment was what? $5,000 fine? Who gives a shit?
They've set us up for this for over years now with the fact checking.
Decades. Oh
yeah,
No,
like the fact check. Oh, that's not real. That's fake news.
See-
That's fake news. So it doesn't matter if your neighbor went out and took the picture. You're going to believe that's fake news because that's what they just told me about that picture.
Dino, you just proved what I've been saying forever. Though is that I don't think we're having an increase of conspiracy type things happening that we've had than we've ever had before. It's just now because of social media, we have access to information that we never had access to before.
Well,
We would never know. Like, do you know how many? Look. Without the internet, how fast would you be able to find out how many people were shot in Baltimore today?
Only if they played it on the news.
You would have to go and actually search the fucking records.
Or
Yeah, which is
microfiche.
insane.
Now, all you have to do is Google it.
Right. Well, according
Or it's
to
broadcast.
Google, all
Somebody else has already done it for you and made a
stuff
meme
that's
out
been
of it. Or
going
made
on.
a,
is kind of common throughout the United States, but not this common where it happens this many
it's
times.
ramped up. It's
very-
way ramped. It's way condensed amount of time. Correct.
Escalating.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that that's because of the availability of information or the incompetence of our elected officials, or a combination of both? A little bit.
I think it's both. The incompetence has always been there, and at
this
times,
level,
well, I don't know. I think it's probably gotten worse because I think a lot of things. It's like anything else. And we talked about it on maybe last Wednesday's show. When you set the bar here,
Yeah.
somebody always goes to here. So, people get this used to this being the bottom, and then somebody always starts going, "Oh, fuck it." Well, then that starts becoming the accepted bottom.
Yeah.
Look, 10 years ago, even Walmart, you didn't see pajamas in the aisles.
10 years ago?
Okay, 20.
20, yeah. 10 years, it was still Target. You didn't get now.
Correct. Okay, so let's say 20 years, but 20 years is not a very long fucking time. But now it's normal for everyone to be out in their fucking pajamas and fucking flip-flops.
Yeah, but I still did it when it wasn't
They're
cool.
toe shorts.
I did it when it wasn't cool.
Toe
motherfucker.
shorts.
All right, stop. We gotta take quiet. All right.
This is the gayest chickens I've ever seen.
You like that cock? And I gained weight. You can still see my cock.
You just scared me for a hot second. I was like, oh God, I can't.
Hey, if your wiener's that color, you should go to a doctor. Like,
It's
not a
jaundiced.
vet, a real doctor, not a vet, not a vet or your friend. You gotta, that's you need a X-ray for that one.
I trust my vet before I trust.
Hey
the
man,
doctor.
fresh plucked poultry is usually around that colorish.
Okay. Fresh plucked poultry is penis colored, ladies and gentlemen.
That yellowish color.
Okay, listen, that chicken was not penis colored. Let's be very clear on that.
Penises aren't supposed to be that color.
No.
Hey, look, maybe that's what penises look like in Cuba.
All jaundice. Mm.
No.
I have never seen a yellow penis in my life.
That's racist. That's a little racist.
Oh,
I've just never been to Asia, motherfucker.
I don't know. There was
You
just
should
some people
travel.
once.
Broaden your horizons, my friend. Okay.
You can at least hit a Chinatown
Never
in one of the major metro areas
I
around.
just want to
Shit.
be clear.
It is-
I'm never
it is
bringing
shitty
my wife
One girl
with
there
me.
with a tooth.
My wife will
What?
never come with me to Cleveland ever. I will never.
No.
bring her.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Love to hang out with
Absolutely
her.
not. Oh no, she's better. Listen, she's better than me. You people, absolutely not. Cannot be in the same room with you guys. That's no question.
You can trust me with your life, but not your money or your wife.
I clean up
Yeah.
so well.
Wallet dangler.
I feel like I've been judged based on all y'all.
Oh, yes, completely. Come on.
Man,
You also did say your sister had an abscess, so like realistically, you didn't set that bar very
that was
high
not my
either.
sister.
My
That was
sister.
his sister.
Still,
My
that
sister
could be family
is
of-
actually a very
No, she ain't family.
she ain't family, but my sister is very religious
She ain't family.
and has very good teeth.
She's got a religious abscess.
Hey, good teeth and good teeth and very religious. That's what's lower on the list than the abscess. I'm just saying, it's a crazy world we live in. I don't trust anyone anymore. Okay.
That's
You
not an
can trust me, I'm
abscess.
religious.
That's Jesus.
Definitely not.
That's Jesus right there reminding me.
I just
that-
want to say, I do want to say, I got to, Marco, since you said that, listen, they are a very, what's the word?
Holy,
Well, yeah, but
devout.
they're,
Self-righteous.
no, they're apostolic. Are you familiar with that Pentecostal?
That just
Yeah.
makes me more confused. That's fine. Yeah.
They're like
They're
pilgrims.
very
Demonstrative. I'm just
not
trying to
helping
Great
one
words. Those are
bit.
great
That's
words.
what you're doing.
Thank you.
Great
They're
word.
very
Anywho,
pedophile in the
they're
demonstratosis of the halitosis way, in the dementia of their being of self-righteousness.
You didn't even use good words. You just put
No,
a bunch
not
of
at
bullshit
all.
together.
Not at all.
And
that's what it
because
sounds like
you
you're
were
doing.
depending on the accent. Depending on the accent.
Listen, the voice is
Do
inflammatory.
better.
The voice is
They're-
inflammatory at best. Okay. It's just-
they're a very, very traditional, believe the Bible verbatim.
yeah. Some people can't read.
So wait a second. You know,
Also,
Jesus, you know, they do all the healing with the hand. Okay. My son
yes.
goes to
Oh, dear
visit
God.
my in-laws, and they send him off to Jesus camp.
Oh, Marco.
Hold on, wait a second. He comes back with COVID. The Holy Ghost gave him COVID.
No, there's a God who sits on high and looks down low. You know there's a
You
God
gotta,
somewhere.
no, you gotta get the breath in there. Those
feel
creatures then in the middle of talking, they in the mic, and it's like it's
Like Steve Harvey used to do. Like.
yes, they.
So that's what we do, honey, when we have the abscess. That we're
I knew you were going to do that. I did 2 minutes too much. I know. I figured
As a
it out.
man who still has all his own teeth, this abscess talk is like, oh Jesus Christ!
Oh,
I met too many weird people with perfect teeth, and I'm like, this is confusing to me.
it's called dentures.
It's called a
Hey,
problem.
hey,
It's a
Be better
problem.
flossing.
It's
called
problem that
dentures
I
or
probably
flossing.
paid for.
I don't
Okay,
know.
wait a
my
minute,
taxes
wait a
probably
minute.
paid for that shit. It's bullshit. Okay,
I've seen this PSA on Facebook, and I want to pass it around. It's a very good PSA for tax time. Tax people out there, you getting your money back and everything. You don't need rims. You don't need them fancy cars.
Nope.
What you need to do is fix them teeth. Fix
Yep.
your fucking teeth.
But I did take tomorrow off.
A Phantom looks just like another piece of shit on the road without a grill. Just letting you know. All right, gotta go back ahead. It's just more and more teeth are just becoming scarce. Like I'm like, what the hell is going on?
That's because
Like,
the drug epidemic is becoming more prevalent.
is that so?
They
Okay, hold on.
correlate.
But there's more to it. There is, I guarantee you, because there is poor early childhood dental care.
There's also the fact that
Which
COVID shut
absolutely-
down dentists for like 3 years.
There's absolutely There's absolutely translates
make
into
meth in your garage.
bad habits as an adult. We had a dentist situation with COVID, and then she is right about the drug use. That when you combine all of that together,
And then the trade.
that's
around
why
it.
you see so much of it.
Right?
I feel like it's a great party though. It's like no
I feel
dentist, no
like
downers. It's great. It's,
You know how many meth
Great
heads are
guy.
gonna get paid from them fucking lawsuits on TV because their teeth fell out? I'm like, nope, I drank the water in East Palestine. No, you smoked the meth in East Palestine. That's what you did.
You meant like mesothelioma people?
Do you need water to make meth? Can you imagine what the fuck like in East Palestine?
The autism Tylenol people.
Hey, what if you use the vinyl chloride water for growing really crazy shit? You definitely could get like giant.
Yeah, I don't know
produce.
if you want to smoke the weed that was grown in that soil, or the mushrooms, or anything like that.
I feel like
you
the
don't
mushrooms
want-
could definitely set you on fire.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
fucking eat one of them mushrooms and you turn
You'll
into
see
Joe Biden.
Jesus. You'll meet Jesus. You ain't coming back from Jesus. I feel
It
like
ain't gonna be Jesus. This is gonna be Jesus. You're gonna end up in Mexico somewhere.
just on foot. Just
Eat a mushroom and just wake up in
That's
Mexico. It's Tijuana, ese.
fun times. So exciting. I'm confused as to why nothing's happening. Is that like I'm assuming you guys are also confused by this because like in 6 days the railroad's back up and running, but there's clearly an issue. And like the fact that phosgene is 100%, you're like, oh yeah, if you burn, it's vinyl chloride, right? So if
Yeah.
you burn vinyl chloride, that makes phosgene. Period. Like that's the
Right.
recipe. It's been outlawed since World War I. It's very bad. It is a chemical warfare thing. Yet nothing's happening.
Again, and I brought it up before. We talked about it in our.
fucking hazmat disaster.
Sorry, say that
We
again.
yeah.
What'd you say,
Marco.
Marco? We missed half of it.
Each and every one of the derailments
Yeah.
have been hazmat disasters.
Right. And I'm
And they're different companies.
getting back to the phosgene.
Yeah.
I said it in our chat. I said it on a couple programs. I'm going to keep saying it. Anytime the subject comes up, listen, they are not monitoring things like storm sewers. Phosgene, what the reason it was used in trench warfare was because it's heavier than oxygen, right? So what did it do? It would fall into the trenches, right? Well, guess what a storm sewer is? They don't fill up with water like water pipes do,
No.
right? A small little river flows along the bottom of this great big pipe, right? So you have a ton of free space underground with access points on every street corner, halfway up every road. So that gas gets down into those storm sewers and it just sits there.
Just
And then what
marinated.
happened today?
Hold on.
and then it rains.
And then today,
Yeah, but we got
Hey.
this huge storm coming in, man.
Yeah,
That's gonna
but
fuck the
Yeah.
whole.
You know what's bad? You know what's bad about a slow, steady rain like today? Slow, steady rains are what come down and start saturating the ground and directly taking water straight down. When it's a heavy rain is when you have all the runoff. So, I mean, they both pose bad in this situation, but like the railroad tracks that they didn't abate any of the shit from,
Yeah.
they just, all that got soaked today, right? Guess
Yep.
where all of those toxins went?
right in that ground.
Right into the groundwater. It is directly in the groundwater right fucking now. Like, and it has been, but like,
Well, realistically, if it's stuck inside sewer and thing drains, storm drains.
It's at its lowest level. It ain't just the storm drains. That's just the waterway.
But
I mean,
what I'm saying is this: is that one big storm where, say, there's flooding, which realistically spring brings, right? That means that gas is literally
it's
just
going to be displaced upwards out of every open vent in the road, out of every hole in the manholes.
Yeah, and you could just
like a
have literally
fire
just a
hole
bunch
in.
of people dying. Like that's literally what
right?
this is where
It would take a ton of water to do that, but it is possible.
it depends,
It
right? Like it's a
depends on
storm.
how
right?
strong the shit
You
is
also
out
have
there.
to think about. You also have to think about, even though it's in a storm drain here, right?
Yeah.
Like it's in a storm drain here. There's still lower lying areas. Those storm drains all go and they flow to the waterways, directly to the waterways. That's
No,
why it
what's
says on them all the time: do not dump direct to
Right.
the waterway.
Right.
What's real fucked up is our media and most people are downplaying this like, all right, so it happened, big deal. If you look at overseas media, like China, for instance, Chinese media is calling this the America's Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
It's that bad. And we're just getting it downplayed. You know how fucking many miles the people of Chernobyl got affected beyond that power plant?
Right.
Right.
You
Like
know, and that's us right here. That's me. That's Jared. That's
Right.
great.
Yeah.
Dino, because remember, this stuff is as the crow flies, not as the car drives.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 100-mile radius is a big difference than driving 100 miles.
Hey,
Right.
look, right now we have a snowstorm that's from Colorado. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, I was supposed to go downtown for a show. I'm like, you know what? It's snowing. I have a rear-wheel drive car. You know what? I'm just going to stay home and watch the chemicals burn through my fucking roof because I'm trying not to be weird about shit, but that's fucking ridiculous, right?
Right.
Like that kind of a cloud. Like, listen, when Mount St. Helens burst in the 80s, the whole world suffered that. When was it? The fucking thing in Iceland a few years
Yeah,
ago?
Switzerland or Iceland and shut it.
Fucking shut down all the airports for thing. So that shit. Okay, so it doesn't have ash. Good. It's got fucking chemicals. What
There's
is
still
happening?
particles. It might not be as big as ash, but you're right. It's still covering that same distance. It's still getting into the atmosphere. And then that's another question. How do these things react as they go up or go down to different air pressures?
Sure.
You know, because as you change pressure, you change boiling points and freezing points of different chemicals. Not only that, then you start changing temperature, you start changing pressure. You know, and then when you get into the levels of the atmosphere and this and that, and then different chemicals react different ways. Like, really, how much are we not being told just because we're not asking the right questions? Because they're not going to volunteer this information.
Well, listen, we already
You're
know.
not
That,
even, if you ask them, you're not even giving it to you.
oh,
Exactly.
yeah, they're saying that's not part of our policy.
Time.
Yeah.
Right.
And on top,
They're going to
of
laugh at you. Oh, we're not going to measure the stratosphere.
Well, I think about it this way: is those chemicals they're clearly highly flammable as they were burned off to stop from an explosion. Okay, here's a question for you: we constantly have meteors that will drop into our atmosphere and then burn up. What happens when they burn up around a large amount of those chemicals? Will they let
That's a
on
very
fire?
good question.
Is that a possibility that you could be damaging the atmosphere?
I
and
could
ozone?
be on fire here.
Guy, but that shit happens, right? Like that's a
Right.
real fucking thing.
Possibility.
Right. It is.
That's exactly the same principle around the idea of cloud seeding. It's releasing chemicals in the atmosphere and watching the atmosphere react.
Chemtrails.
Right? These are not new things. These are things that are done with science on a regular basis.
Right.
And look, what's hilarious, I believe it was one of you bastards that had to put it out there, was like, oh, so 2 years we had to wear masks for something that ended up not being a big thing, But now they're like, no, air's fine when we're literally watching things burn up in front of us.
Right.
Well, that's saying, hey, if we say something, we're going to be liable. So don't say anything. No liability. It's not okay.
Here's some new shit that I've seen that it has to do with Gates and the CDC and all that. The new pandemic for 2025 is going to be rolled out in 2025. It's called Sears, and the U.S. is looking at England because England's implementing climate change lockdowns. So they're going to zone off each area, each city, and they're going to have their own borders on each city, and you're only going to be allowed to leave if you get permission. And you can only go everything. I think they call it the 15-minute rule or something.
Hunger Games bullshit.
Yes.
They call it the 15-minute rule. You have to live within 15 minutes of everything you need. So whatever store, whatever doctor, whatever, it has to be 15 minutes. You got to be able to walk there.
Now, hold on though. This is the real concern. Being within 15 minutes of all of your needs is a nice, pleasant thing. Not being able to leave your 15-minute area is not what we're saying is okay, right? That's prison. That's a we are now cattle. This is our area that we can graze in. If you remove from there, you may be shot, hunted down by wolves. Marco, who knows? It's crazy world out there.
Marco, this is exactly what I've debated with you on the whole. I agree with securing our border. I don't agree with walls. Walls keep people in just as easily as they keep people out.
We're at our 10-minute mark, by the way.
Yeah.
All righty.
Maybe we could have doors on the walls, only one way.
Yeah, but I don't know. But it doesn't matter when you've got the army standing on top of the wall, pointing down at you with machine guns from an elevated position. You are fucked.
That's when you send in the big horse.
You heard it here, everyone. Jared says enlist in the military so you can man the wall.
Like I'm the first one. Like I'm the first one that has ever brought up the idea of them turning the military against the citizenry. Like I'm the first one that's ever said that that's possible.
See,
world over.
The Constitution, they cannot use the U.S. military against U.S. citizens.
Oh, okay, yeah, like they really follow the Constitution, Marco.
What? When they
got
arm
one.
like IRS agents, or they arm like these stupid other agency, and all of a sudden they're sitting on top of the wall with a big IRS sticker on their fucking.
She doesn't want to be associated with us anymore. It's too late. You've already been there.
Joyce has turned to a life of crime. She is now a railroad bandit. She is a railroad bandit.
Yeah, she's a railroad bandito.
She's coming for you guys. Just so you know.
She's gonna have a band. She's gonna have that
Norfolk Southern be warned. Joyce is on her way.
I told him to pull over.
You gonna see Joyce in her Amazon van next to the fucking train.
I feel like 2 bandoliers of bullets.
2 bandoliers of bullets.
That's a good, proper Western outfit. I'm here for it.
Joyce the bandito.
Got the Uncle Henry, John Wayne style, so she can.
The 6-shooter.
It's fantastic. I love it.
But it's modern, so she's riding up on her like Kawasaki fucking dirt bike or something.
Yeah, it looks like.
Can I wear leather? Okay, I'm in.
Dead cow, I'm in.
I'm in.
Especially the mask with the zipper on the face.
Wednesday, thanks for joining us. This has been Mama Sniz and Big Sniz. We got Dino, the genetic marvel, and as always, motherfucking Greg on the 2s and 3s.
Well, he's that way, or that way, or that way.
There he is.
Check out Final Thursdays. We got what are y'all doing? The S&G
you still doing reacts or
react on Fridays?
Yep.
And Muck and Fun Day on Mondays, and we out.
Yeah.
Peace.